Hello, my darlings. Mother Raven here with a lovely couple of treats for you. The first is a little myth written for us by my friend the witch doctor. I will follow with a poem from H.P. Lovecraft for Glass for Breakfast, who has requested more Lovecraft. Internet, the Goddess, by my friend the witch doc. Internet, Internee, is the wild and chaotic daughter of Jupiter and Arachne, the daughter of electricity and the weaver. It was said on the day of her birth that the rays of a long-forgotten goddess were seen across the earth. It was quickly discovered that she had the power to make distance disappear into endless space that could be connected in infinite ways. All the gods marveled. Even the most ancient titans, like Cronus and Gaia, bowed down before her in her infancy. As she grew, so did her power with mankind. Artists created with new forms of media, poets and scholars and journalists became more prolific and spread their writings to the ends of the earth. Scientists worked with the internet to create clouds that held vast amounts of data that could be organized. Many new discoveries were made. Mankind rejoiced in an unexpected new age. Yet she was unbridled, had no control. Anything that could be, could be. Mankind found new forms of cruelty and lies in her endless space. Yet she is neutral, and by her nature cannot control what flows through her, or discern what is true or false. Pluto grew jealous of Internet's ability to create value from air. Offended by her frivolity, under the guise of affection and seeing her potential, he persuaded the gods to let him be her tutor. He locked her in a maze of moving walls with shrieking faces that demanded payment for arbitrary services. Mankind on the island of Janus, home to Pluto's throne, was struck by a terrible famine as a result of her imprisonment. She remained trapped there, the walls getting more and more obstructive. She is depicted as sitting on a large cat with an apple in her hand and a window behind her. A penguin sits by her side. Her scepter is an antenna, and her corona is a radiant blue wave called Wi-Fi. She is too young to have a consort yet. Some say it is impossible for her to have a consort because she has no conventional identity or physical form. She is worshipped by the lonely, the bored, and the inquisitive. Her chief religious rite is called surfing. It involves bowing the head and swiping a device called a phone or a mouse. Gaming is a competitive form of this rite, performed by people at unknown distances. These rites are known to cause people to fall into fits of laughter, love, or rage. She is a new goddess, and her rites and mysteries are still being developed. But if she is kept in Pluto's prison, we will share her fate. Such an appropriate warning, don't you think? We are so close to finding those walls of Pluto closing in on our poor, poor goddess. And now, particularly for Glass for Breakfast, I bring you Unda, or The Bride of the Sea, by H.P. Lovecraft. Respectfully dedicated with permission to Maurice Winter Moe, Esquire. A dull, dark, drear, Tilic delirium in 16 silly senseless, sickly stanzas. Ego cantus, lunam canto. Malvius Bavanius. Black loom the crags of the uplands behind me. Dark are the sands of the far stretching shore. Dim are the pathways and rocks that remind me sadly of years in the lost nevermore. Soft laps the ocean on wave-polished boulders. Sweet is the sound and familiar to me. Here with her head gently bent to my shoulder, walked I with Unda, the bride of the sea. Bright was the morn of my youth when I met her, sweet as the breeze that blew in o'er the brine. Swift was I captured in love's strongest fetter, glad to be hers, and she glad to be mine. Never a question asked I where she wandered, never a question asked she of my birth. Happy as children we thought not nor pondered, glad with the bounty of ocean and earth. Once when the moonlight played soft mid the billows, high on the cliffs o'er the water we stood. Bound was her hair with garlands of willows, plucked by the fount in the bird-haunted woods. Strangely she gazed on the surges beneath her, charmed by the sound or entranced by light. Then did the waves a wild aspect bequeath her, stern as the ocean and weird as the night. Coldly she left me, astonished and weeping, standing alone mid the regions she'd blessed. Down, ever downward, half gliding, half creeping, stole the sweet Unda in oceanward quest. Calm grew the sea, and tumultuous beating turned to a ripple as Unda the fair trod the wet sands in affectionate greeting, beckoned to me, and no longer was there. Long did I pace by the banks where she'd vanished. High climbed the moon and descended again. Gray broke the dawn till the sad night was banished. Still ached my soul with its infinite pain. All the wide world have I searched for my darling, scoured the far deserts and sailed distant seas. Once on the wave while the tempest was snaring, flashed a fair face that brought quiet and ease. Ever in restlessness onward I stumbled, seeking and pining, scarce heeding my way. Now have I strayed where the white waters rumble, back to the scene of the lost yesterday. Lo, the red moon from the ocean's low hazes rises in ominous grandeur to view. Strange is its face as my tortured eye gazes o'er the vast reaches of sparkle and blue. Straight from the moon to the shore where I'm sighing, growing a bright bridge made of wavelets and beams. Frail may it be, yet how simple the trying, wandering from earth to the orb of sweet dreams. What is yon face in the moonlight appearing? Have I at last found the maiden that fled? Out on the beam bridge my footsteps are nearing her whose sweet beckoning hastens my tread. Currents surround me, and drowsily swaying, far on the moon path I seek the sweet face. Eagerly hasting, half panting, half praying, forward I reach for the vision of grace. Murmuring waters about me are closing, soft the sweet vision advances to me. Done are my trials, my heart is reposing, safe with my Unda, the bride of the sea. Epilogue. As the rash fool, a prey of Unda's art, drowned through the passion of his fevered heart, so are our youth inflamed by tempters fair, bereft of reason and the manly air. How sad the sight of Strephon's virile grace turned to confusion at his Chloe's face, and ere Pelides, dear to Grecian eyes, sunken for loss of his thrice cherished prize. Brothers, attend, if cares too sharply vex, gain rest by shunning the destructive sex. Oh my, not your usual Lovecraft, but you can certainly see his love for Poe in that. It certainly has the feel of many of Poe's poems. So quoth this raven,